Hello all, and thank you for tuning in again. It's been a little while since I gave an update, and a few things have happened, and I've learned a little bit. So I thought I would do a quick update to, I guess, talk through how everything's going and what the last couple of weeks have looked like and what's going to be coming up here in the future. Overall, training-wise, things have been going great. I took the opportunity a couple of weeks ago to go down from elevation. It's always good to get out of altitude every now and then and feel a little bit better about your swim anyways. But went down to Sacramento with a good friend of mine who was racing his first ever Ironman, so I was going to be his Sherpa. Obviously, the weather there didn't cooperate, so I got some quality time on the indoor trainer in a garage with no fan that kicked my butt a little bit. And I was obviously able to travel with the lever, so brought that into the gym there, and had good pool space while we were there. Unfortunately, I didn't even get to Sherpa the race, so we drove right back. And then got into the normal routine here. Basically, the normal routine has been go up on Tuesday and Thursday, swim with the JD crew. I'm finally able to, Tuesdays and Thursdays, the JD crew typically runs in the morning and then goes to swim and then possibly bikes afterwards. And so I'm finally able to go and do some running at the same time as the group. I haven't been able to do the entire workouts yet there, but it's good to be back with the group there. Obviously, always good to be in the pool with Coach Julie. Looking back, having regular time with her on deck and having other people around me swimming with me, pushing me, has definitely helped my swim progress. I was swimming very well early in the year before I had to shut things down, and so hopefully we can get right back onto that here at the end of the season. I am now 7 weeks post-surgery, and if you didn't know, I had a knee scope to cut out just a small chunk of my meniscus, I guess just over 2 months ago. I've been struggling with that ever since May, and all over the summer. Tried to deal with it and just was unsuccessful going the conservative route. So right after the Collins Cup, it did lock up in the Collins Cup. I wasn't able to extend the knee after the race at all. So I knew surgery was definitely the route I had to go. So 7 weeks ago, had that taken care of, and things have been progressing quite nicely. There's still a little bit of swelling in the knee, but I'm continually doing more and more and more, and the swelling is not getting any more, so that's a great sign. Obviously, it's not completely healed. If you've ever seen or had one of those surgeries, they're not very gentle with the instruments that they're using to jam into the knee joint. And so there's definitely some trauma alongside of just them cutting out the actual portion of the meniscus. So that continues to go well. The run training has progressed as planned. And so I'm still hoping to be ready to go for Clash Daytona this year. That is what I'm targeting for the last race of the year. It is going to be really tough to get there. I do have a long way to go. I've basically, after talking with Coach Julie and Coach Matt about this, I basically told them that I feel that I needed to do 2 90-minute runs, both of which are kind of the final 70.3-ish type build run that I do with some hard efforts. And I don't need it to be the best performance that I've ever had in that workout, but I do need to get through both of those between now and race day outside at 100% body weight without any swelling or additional accumulation of swelling or feeling that I'm limping or anything like that. And so that's what we're progressing towards. Right now, the longest run I've done outside is 40 minutes. So I do have a little ways to go. But, we've got, 3.5 weeks. So hopefully we can get there. I'm not just going at this blind. I've definitely been using as many of the available resources that I have to me. I've been going to PT regularly. Most of what we're doing in PT is addressing my back, not so much my knee. That just kind of needs time at this point. And my back, on the other hand, and my hips. have definitely taken a turn for the worse. Basically, I was limping all summer and running with an altered gait, and that's not made the back issue any better that I've struggled with my entire career. So we're really trying to address that. Back to doing some longer blocks and aero on the bike, which is great. So on the rehab side of things, I'm really trying to just unwind the big knot that I've had and hopefully try to get back to pain-free riding and running, but mostly riding in aero. And again, I've never had any knee pain while riding, but because I've been limping, it kind of threw everything off in the hips. And so that's back to square one there, trying to get back to more good days than bad. So in terms of my run progression, I talked a little bit about this in the last video, but I've obviously been doing a majority of my running using the lever. And I've been doing that at a reduced body weight and using that on my Technogym that I have here in the basement. And so one of the best things that I've been able to use, the best tools that I've been able to use to help guide this run progression and to help make sure that the stride is staying balanced and things are staying good going forward, and kind of using it as a metric for when I'm ready to progress, is the advanced biometrics that the Skill Run 7000 can actually give me while I'm running. So I'm able to look at stride length and left-right balance while I'm running. And so I'm using that to help determine when I'm ready, or how much I'm ready to go at full body weight. So I just keep on, as I'm running at roughly 80% when the metrics start looking good and things look pretty even. Now, it's impossible to keep them, right at 100% or 0% deviation on either side for the entire run. But we're looking for the trends, and by watching the screen, you can see pretty quickly what's going on there. An interesting thing that I've learned about myself, I've always felt this. I've never felt comfortable running at slower than a specific pace. And I've had a number of conversations with Julie, Coach Julie, about this. She's often felt that I am running my my aerobic runs too fast, and I certainly agree that I'm not doing things textbook. But one thing that I've definitely seen, and this could be a function of who I am as a person, but it could also be a function of just doing it this way throughout my whole life. So I've just developed the efficiency in that. But when I try to run at a 7 minute per mile pace, it doesn't matter what body weight percentage I'm going at, when I'm trying to run at a 7 minute per mile pace or slower, the stride length and the foot contact time is all over the place. It's not one-to-one. It's not even at all. As soon as I get up above 630, it's like a switch goes off and I feel better, but then that's also represented in the stride, the biofeedback that I'm getting from the Technogym. And that has been every single run that I've done. As I ramp up the warm-up, as soon as I get over that 630 to, we'll call it 630 pace, all of a sudden the biometrics look a lot more even. And so that's something I'm going to be paying attention to moving forward. Maybe I need to be working more on the aerobic side of things to try to be able to run at a slower pace more efficiently. That's certainly a possibility. I definitely do most of my longer runs, my longer aerobic runs in the 610 to 620 range. That's where I feel most comfortable. And that's where I can just shut off and just go through the motions and not feel like I'm having to constantly stare at my watch and hold myself back. But that puts the heart rate on a little bit higher level than Coach Julie would like. So that's kind of something that we're constantly working on. And before coming to her, it was like 6 minute per mile. I just didn't like running slower than that. in my workouts. And, you know, I'm obviously getting older, and body it takes a little bit more time to absorb or to recover from the stresses that we're putting on it. So constantly trying to get those aerobic runs a little bit lower heart rate at least, and to be a little bit less of an impact. And so that's something that I'm definitely paying attention to, using these biometrics. On the flip side of that, when I get above, you know, when I first was starting to introduce some speed work, I would get above like a 5:45 and things would skew off. Now, as I've gone further and further along and use this and continue to monitor it, you know, I'm getting at 70.3 pace or a little bit faster. Things are looking pretty even at about 90 to 95% body weight. When I unload that to 100% body weight, they get off a little bit. And so I'm doing, you know, some outdoor running, but no outdoor intervals just yet. I'm about a week away from those. So those are coming, but I'm just not quite there yet. So I'm just deloading. I'm just deloading a little bit for my the speed intervals, and then keeping the aerobic stuff mostly unloaded outside of a warm-up maybe. And I'm just going to keep using this information, keep using the data that I have available to me to try to guide this progression. I'm being super conservative. I really want to race Daytona, but I don't want to go there unless I can be healthy doing it. Am I going to have the highest fitness that I've ever had going into the race? Absolutely not. I fully expect that. I fully anticipate that. I'm ready for that. I want to race this race, or plan on racing this race, and then shut down the season as I normally would. Reason being is I've done a build into a late April race or an early race with Ironman Texas so many times and been successful doing that. And with St. George, or the World Championships moving to St. George in early May, that's a timeline that I'm really comfortable with. And so I don't want to delay racing and then have to go, and then try to go to a Middle East race or South America race in January or February, because that throws that timeline off. And so I want to get back onto the timeline that I'm comfortable with. So that's why I'm trying to push so hard to be ready to race Daytona, whether or not I'm able to make it happen. As of right now, I feel very comfortable that I'm going to be able to make it happen. I bought my flight, bought my tickets there, so I'm feeling good about where I'm at. But I am not going to do anything stupid again, and I will be willing to pull the pin on it if I have a setback in training. With the timeline I have right now, it's really tight, and unfortunately, there just isn't a ton of time for a setback. So that was the deal I made when talking with Coach Julie and Coach Matt about this, is that, this is the progression that I want, but I will be disciplined and honest with myself and them and pull the pin if at any time we have any sort of setback. So that's the quick update that I have for you. Thanks for tuning in. I will be doing a video here shortly on the new First Endurance product called Halo. It is very different than any of their other products. I've got a lot to learn about this product still. I've enjoyed being a part of the prototype process with this one as well. I'm going to do this video a little bit different than I do the standard review, so hopefully you all enjoy that. I'll have a couple other videos coming out here before the end of the year as well, so make sure you click the subscribe button before you leave, and I'll see you next time.